The Buddha's 4 hidden wealth killers. Most people ignore them. There are many people who work hard almost every day. They wake up early, come home late, endure a lot, feel exhausted, and genuinely try their best. But at the end of the month, their bank account is almost empty. They are not lazy. They are not incompetent. And many times, the problem is not simply that they do not know how to make money. The problem may be something else. Their life is leaking. This is where the Buddhist teaching becomes deeply startling. Because most people begin with a question like this: how can I earn more? How can I create multiple income streams? How can I make my life stable faster? But the Buddha does not begin there. He begins with a question that is deeper and far more direct. What in your life is causing your wealth to leak away? The world teaches people to focus on what flows in. New opportunities, new income, new channels, new strategies. But the Buddha warns us to look at what flows out as well. Because no matter how skillfully you earn, if your life is constantly leaking, it will never truly fill. The Buddha compared wealth to a great reservoir, with 4 channels flowing in and 4 channels flowing out. If someone blocks the inlets, opens the outlets, and the rain does not fall as it should, that reservoir will slowly dry up. This image is profound, because the Buddha is not merely saying, do not spend carelessly. He is revealing the structure of decline. Some people do not fall apart because they are bad at earning. They fall apart because they allow their life to remain full of leaks. And those leaks do not only consume money. They consume time. They consume clarity. They consume dignity. They consume trust. And slowly, they consume the future as well. The Buddha taught 4 gateways to the ruin of wealth. If a householder leaves these unchecked, their wealth will inevitably begin to decay. The first is addiction to sensual indulgence. Do not hear this too narrowly. Its core meaning is allowing sensual desire to take the lead in life. Letting craving pull the mind from one excitement to another, until wealth, time, and life energy are spent feeding desire. They simply feel tired of life. So they look for excitement as compensation. They look for someone to make them feel alive. They spend, they impress, they chase, they indulge. For the sake of a momentary emotional high. But what seems small on each individual day becomes a major leak over time. Money goes out. Time goes out. Concentration goes out. The mind drifts away from responsibility. And the things that truly matter begin to feel boring. This is the danger of letting sensuality lead your life. It does not only drain wealth. It weakens the firmness of the heart. Once the mind becomes used to fast stimulation, simple things with real value begin to feel dull. Work that requires patience feels boring. Responsibility feels heavy. Stable relationships feel insufficiently exciting. At that point, money is no longer used to build stability. It is used to feed craving. And craving never says, enough. It only says, just a little more. One more time. One more night. Many people do not collapse because of one huge mistake. They slowly wear themselves down through things that seem harmless day by day. The second is addiction to intoxicants. The Buddha clearly described the dangers of intoxicants. They bring immediate financial loss. They become a source of illness. They lead to quarrels and conflict. They damage one's reputation. They weaken shame. And they erode wisdom. This is not just a list of moral warnings. Because when mindfulness weakens, the whole system of life begins to weaken with it. Speech becomes careless. Emotions become unstable. Decisions become distorted. Things you normally would not do, you suddenly do. Things you normally would never say, you suddenly say. Most people do not begin by thinking, I am destroying my life. They begin with easy phrases like, it's fine. I just need to relax. Everyone does it. But this is exactly how heedlessness usually enters. It does not arrive wearing the face of obvious disaster. It comes disguised as something harmless. And many times, the phrase, it's probably fine, costs much more than the drink itself. Some people do not lose much money directly on intoxicants. They lose far more through what follows afterward. They lose work. They lose relationships. They lose opportunities. They lose trust. Or they lose their future. Because of one decision made when the mind was not steady. This is the depth of the Buddha's insight. Ordinary people see intoxicants as entertainment. The Buddha sees them as something that corrodes the guardian of life. When mindfulness weakens, other forms of damage enter easily. The third is addiction to gambling. Gambling is the desire for results, without the willingness to walk the path of causes. Wanting gain quickly. Wanting gain greatly. Wanting gain without patient building. So what gambling really sells is not money. It sells fantasy. It sells the image that life is about to turn around. It sells the hope that one more round will recover everything. It sells the belief that luck is finally about to take your side. But often, what actually comes is delusion. The Buddha described the dangers of gambling with striking precision. The winner creates enemies. The loser mourns what was lost. It causes financial ruin in the present. The gambler's word is not trusted. Friends look down on them. And no one wants to entrust a family to someone seen as unable to provide. This goes deeper than many people realize. The Buddha does not merely say, gambling loses money. He points further and shows that it destroys trustworthiness. And when trustworthiness collapses, the whole structure of life begins to crack. A person caught in gambling rarely stops when they win, and rarely accepts reality when they lose. Then what follows is not only missing money. It becomes concealment, lying, borrowing, breaking promises, stress no one sees, and a life that still smiles on the outside, while quietly splitting apart within. Sometimes the modern world is strange. People argue endlessly over tiny daily expenses. The fourth is keeping bad company. This is deeply important, because many people think they are strong enough. They think, I can be around it without being influenced. They think, I'm just there socially. It won't affect me. But life is rarely that simple. The Buddha warned that we will be drawn toward wrong decisions and unwholesome actions. Bad friends do not always look dangerous. Sometimes they are funny. Sometimes they are charming. Sometimes they make life feel less boring. But if after spending time with them, your moral restraint weakens, your mindfulness softens, your standards fall, your spending becomes stranger, and your sense of shame declines, that is not friendship leading to your welfare. At first, you only watch. Then you try a little. Then you do it more often. And eventually, it becomes habit. Because it does not only make you lose money, it makes you lose direction. And when a person loses direction, they begin spending their wealth trying to manage their own mistakes, paying to fix problems that should never have existed, paying to escape the consequences of heedlessness, paying to repair reputation, paying to repair relationships, paying to hold together a life that is beginning to crack. When you look at all four together, the picture becomes very clear. Sensual indulgence leaks wealth through craving. Intoxicants leak wealth through heedlessness. Gambling leaks wealth through greed and the delusion of shortcuts. Bad company leaks wealth through downward influence. These four may look like separate issues, but they share one root. A mind that does not know sufficiency. A mind that does not see danger while it is still small. A mind willing to trade long-term stability for short-term gratification. This is the depth of the Buddha. Ordinary people notice the problem at the end point. The money is gone. Life is unstable. People no longer trust them. Family is strained. Work is damaged. Health is declining. But the Buddha sees the origin. He sees the habit. He sees the heedlessness. He sees the social circle. He sees the craving that people casually call just a little. This is not merely a teaching about behaving well. It is a precise diagnosis of life. The Buddha is not only telling people what they should be, he is showing that if these causes are left in place, these results will inevitably follow. And once the cause is seen, The way out can also be seen. The remedy is simple in wording, but not easy for a mind still in love with heedlessness. Do not be addicted to sensual indulgence. Do not be addicted to intoxicants. Do not be addicted to gambling. And keep good company. It sounds basic, but if practiced, it quietly changes the direction of a life. When the mind stops flowing after sensual craving, life energy begins to gather again. When mindfulness is no longer damaged by intoxicants, decisions begin to steady. When the heart stops chasing shortcuts through gambling, it begins to respect cause and effect again. When one keeps good company, one stops becoming familiar with decline. A good friend does not need to be perfect, but a good friend is someone whose presence does not pull you downward. Not coarser, not more reckless, not less restrained, not more comfortable with self-destruction. If you want to apply this teaching in real life, then tonight, do not begin by asking, how can I make more money this year? Ask first, where are the outlets in my life? Write down these 4 areas. First, where, this month, have I lost money, time, or energy to sensual desire? Second, what have I used, whether a substance or anything else, that weakens my mindfulness? And what poor decisions followed afterward? Third, what shortcut am I secretly hoping for? Am I believing that life can improve without building the right causes? Fourth, do the people around me make me better or make me comfortable with decline? Do not answer beautifully. Answer honestly. If you can, observe this for 7 days. Do not announce it. Do not perform it for anyone. Just look at your life truthfully, because many times, the beginning of stability is not having more immediately. It is stopping the daily loss caused by the things already destroying you. Some people do not lose their future in one day. They lose it little by little, night after night, habit after habit, friend after friend, heedlessness after heedlessness. And by the time they finally turn around, the reservoir is nearly dry. That is why the Buddha did not teach this to condemn people. He taught it to warn them, before it is too late. If you can still see the leak, you can still close it. If you can still face the truth, you can still change direction. And if you gradually close these 4 gateways of decline, the wealth you have earned rightly can become stable, can grow, and need not dry up before its time. Because in the end, the stability of life does not begin with having the most. It often begins with finally stopping the leak.